Give me a nice place to sit down at, you know what I mean? Nice place to sit down so that people could hear the God. Let me move my little ottoman up, man. So we could talk. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? Everything good? I'm waiting for my guy Steve to get in here so we could talk about these battles. So we can have like the real talk about these battles. Who ducking who's scared of who has no business against who. All right, Steve, there you go. I see you, King. Send that request through so we can get to the shits. Cause there's some niggas running from some smoke. Streets is talking. And I ain't like what happened last night neither, man. But I'm waiting for Steve so we could talk about it. There we go. Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? We good? Yeah, man, my shit is wild right now. Nah, man, we gotta... Hey, Steve, come on, man, because I don't want to start talking and shit. I don't want to start talking without you. I got a lot of Jermaine Dupri questions. Steve is texting me. Hold on, y'all. Oh, Steve said the request went in. Let me find it. It's a lot of people in here. Oh, now I look like I don't see it, Steve. And now I look like the old guy who don't know how to work Insta Live. It could be blurry. I'm not here to be looked at. That's fine. Yo, somebody tell me or Steve how to fucking get him in here. Request, Jambo, nah. I am the old guy that don't really know how to work all this shit, but it's cool. Click on his name in the comments. All right, Al. All right, comment, Steve. I need a Steve comment. I don't see it. Thank you, Alchemist. Here we go. Here we go. Go live, Steve. I sent it in, waiting for Steve. We waiting for Steve. All right, I sent it.
Yep.
Yes.
We did it.
We did it. We are here, first of all. How you doing? How's your family in this time of crisis?
Joe, as I told you, man, this level of uncertainty is crazy. I just believe during these times all we got is courage, love, and optimism. Courage, love, and optimism, man, to get through this. The family's good. Thank you. How about yourself? How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. I'm doing all right. My parents all right, thank God. I see you haven't found a barber the same as me.
My shit is crazy. My dad every year goes to Trinidad for Carnival. He leaves in December and he comes back in March. So he comes back March 18th. I'm like, Dad, why didn't you stay in Trinidad? It's crazy. He lives in Queens. He goes, I had to come back because my car registration expired.
Listen.
Managing your parents during shit like this?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's the most important part that people ain't really talking about. Parents is going wild.
My dad, I can't believe he flew back from Trinidad to New York in the midst of this crisis because his car registration expired. So I've been managing my parents as best as I can and just trying to maintain through all of this. I mean, I think that we're in this for a few more months, Joe. We're in the very early beginnings of this, man.
Yeah, I think they might be underreporting just how long we have here.
Yep. So, I see us, maybe in July, possibly. So we got to get comfortable with this type of stuff. And like, I think for guys like yourself, just so you know, that anybody who's super talented and got something to bring to the table, they don't need fireworks. They don't need alarms and lights behind their head. They can just deliver something, whether it be sing a song or conduct an interview and have a point of view that's clear and concise.
Mm-hmm.
That those guys are going to do well during these times. Because what I'm seeing is a lot of the bells and whistles are going away because there is nothing except, can you rap? Can you sing?
Yes.
Can you interview?
It's
Can
true.
you use your two hands and do something? And I think we're going to see a big rise of creativity during this period of time as a result of the fact that all the people who are running around famous are getting crushed because they ain't got no more tools.
Yeah. That's one of the more intriguing things for me, Steve, is to see how people are maneuvering now that the labels are closed and some of the smoke and mirrors shit has dissipated.
Yeah. Like, do you have an idea? Because all you need is a white psych to get it off. And if you need all that other kind of shit, that's why pop music is dead right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pop music is dead. But anyhow.
Listen.
Yeah. Let's get into it. I mean, I think you got, like, I love talking to you. Whether we film it or not film it, I like the fact that you give me the shit. I'm gonna give it right back to you.
I'm here.
But you're also honest.
I'm here for us to have a real conversation, because a lot of the conversations that have been circulating based around these battles, they've been very respectful, because they should be, because niggas is icons and legends. But let's start with last night. Did you see last night?
I seen last night. I seen last night, Joe, and I loved it. I mean, loved it. I liked it like it was a football game. I liked it like that level of entertainment.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't as entertaining after they got past the first 4 songs. It was a blowout after the first 4 songs. But watching like the Jonte Austin and watching Scott Storch, back to the point that I was making, nobody really knew who Jonte was, and they watched him spank that ass. People know of Scott Storch, but you would think Manny Fresh, because of Cash Money and all of artists and all that, would have had much more legs. But you know what? The talent is prevailing. When that man played the keys right in front of everybody's face, you couldn't say shit.
Now wait. What do you think about, because this has been a topic of discussion this morning, what do you think about people being able to play joints that they only co-produced on versus people who made the whole shit? You don't care?
You know, you
Listen,
can't.
We've heard Cry Me a River, man.
No, I like it. Listen, I like that. I like that. But you were an artist, and being an artist, you know, there's a bunch of people in the studio. The engineer may have an idea. A person comes in, your man gives you something that you can work on that works for the hook. The producer himself may come up with something. So it's really about everybody in that room who contributed to that energy, that contributed to that song. So I can't knock anybody for playing a song based off the percentage of what they've contributed. That wouldn't be fair. I mean, if you've contributed nothing, a bit.
But fam, I have to go up against, if I'm Manny Fresh, I have to go up against Scott Storch keys over Dr. Dre drums. Who's beating it? I have to go up against Scott Storch keys with Timbaland synths and drums. Like,
well, you know what? Scott Storch produced a lot of joints. He produced Lean Back on his own. Yeah, there's still DRE and there's joints like that, but it's not like when he didn't have that, the records fell off a cliff. I mean, them shits was hot regardless. So
no, listen, Scott
it's not like anybody, it ain't like one person said, Scott ain't really part of that. Scott was just the extra guy they brought in the room to play the keys as a studio musician, and we got him out. There are studio musicians that just do that. Scott's a real producer, And he's done it over a long period of time. So I understand your question because there are a lot of guys that fall under the category that you're talking about. For sure, Scott's not one of them.
Do you think it was an unfair matchup?
Nah, I don't think it was unfair. I think that, like, I don't want to tell Swiss and Timberland. I think what Swiss and Timberland are doing is great for the culture.
Amazing.
It's amazing what they're doing for the culture. And I don't want to Monday morning quarterback what they've done. The truth of the matter is I think Manny's song selection was off. By the way, in general, I think a lot of guys who are doing this, they're losing the sequencing battle. They're playing songs out of sequence. They're coming out the game. They're coming out the gate slow, trying to like warm it up a bit. No, bro. There's no warming shit up. There's 20 fucking records, and niggas is keeping count from record 1.
Yeah.
And Manny started playing, like Sean Garrett started playing original records. Nobody cares about Sean Garrett's original records.
Hey, Sean Garrett started playing some shit off his new album coming up.
Yeah, I mean, that ain't gonna work. Again, like, I understand why he wants to do it because he wants to promote his joint, but like, that ain't the forum for that, man. The forum for that is the smashes, 20 smashes. It's like, I hate when I go to a concert, you go to a live event, and then all of a sudden they start singing a new record you ain't even heard yet. Listen, you can get to that. Play me the hits out the gate, man. You hitting the sauce already? It's not even noon. Don't lie to me. I can tell by your face.
It's coffee.
What is that?
It's coffee. It's coffee.
Coffee. Nope. Nobody believes that was coffee.
I'm telling you, it was coffee.
Was it espresso?
Yeah. So listen to this. Let me get off of Scott Storch and Manny for a second. There are rumblings in the street, and I know this to be true because I've spoken to this gentleman in the past 8 months, and I can hear it in his voice. There are rumblings in the street that Teddy Riley is looking for somebody to say his name. So now I'm going to say to you, who can say Teddy Riley's name?
I don't. Yo, you don't. I love the fact that you be talking this type of shit.
It's true.
Yo,
and I don't think it's fair for Teddy Riley to want smoke with niggas.
First of all, I think Teddy Riley wants to beat somebody up in public. Teddy Riley wants to get away with a homicide. Teddy Riley changed music 3 times. Teddy Riley, I think the only person that could fuck with Teddy maybe is Pharrell or Puff. Maybe Pharrell or Puff. Or you got to go to the Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, LA and Babyface thing.
I want to take Puff's name out of this because I'm going to circle back with a Puff segment.
Okay, go ahead.
But, okay, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, those are 2 more that I put on God level.
Yeah, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and LA and Babyface.
LA and Babyface.
Don't discount LA and Babyface.
I would never. I just saw LA in the room the other night talking his shit in the chat.
Yeah. So LA and Babyface.
And wait.
Oh, let me get LA and Babyface and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis are like rivals. Just so that you know. So the way it worked was LA and Babyface and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis came up in the mid-'80s. They were rivals. Like definitely rivals. They were artists first that were in different bands, and then they were producers that were both making records at the same time, and they were rivals. And then Teddy Riley came, the young gun, and kind of put them to sleep a bit. And Teddy Riley went on a run, and there was really nobody fucking with him, really. So it's very hard to find a guy that was singular that had the hits that Teddy Riley had for that long period of time. And then like Puff came and more hip hop came. But Teddy Riley had an R&B run that must have been 7 years with nobody really fucking with that New Jack Swing.
I think that New Jack Swing era gets most of these catalogs out of here, and that's before he even plays a Michael Jackson record.
By the way, Teddy Riley produced the show.
Before he plays the show. Yeah, like
The
That's
Slick
what I'm
Rick,
saying.
the show. Then how about all those Keith Sweat joints?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about, yeah. I think Teddy Riley's a cheat code. I
was telling Swiss last night, or somebody, I said, about these records that are so timeless. When he plays Let's Chill, I don't care if you're 17. You know exactly what that means. His quality level is so ridiculous. You don't even have to, you just remember your mom playing it, cleaning the house on a Sunday, and you know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, listen, man. You ready for it? You ready for this?
I'm ready for any conversation that you want to have at any time.
All right. Would you like to discuss Jermaine Dupri and who he may or may not be avoiding smoke from?
Look, first and foremost, I have truthfully a lot of respect for Jermaine. I've known him for many, many years. I think that he's definitely been a great contributor to the culture for sure. My only issue with this thing is that Jermaine really don't want the problem with the track masters. He's trying to go to Puff because he thinks, oh, me and Puff. He knows that Puff got way more songs than him, and Puff he's not Puff level. He knows that. What he don't want to do is deal with the guys that's right there. Track masters, they were talking too many records and wasn't in no videos. Jermaine did all of that. That's cool.
Yo, you hurting my heart. You hurting my heart and my soul.
No, I'm not.
Right?
Hold on, let me finish. He don't want to deal with the track masters at all. Like, at all. They will blow his doors off. And the problem is all those guys in Atlanta that look up to him is going to find out that the guys in New York that came up during that same time will blow his doors off. How many times is he going to play Money Ain't a Thing? You know, Joe, back then, Money Ain't a Thing we were making those every 3 weeks. You just hit me with the artwork? You just left me to the artwork?
Steve, listen, let me tell you what I've noticed. And I'm not picking sides here because you're talking about icons. What I've noticed, though, is that since Jonte Austin.
That's right. I know where you're going. You're going. They were like, wait a minute. The faceless guys got monsters? Yes. Tone and Polk, not the most famous guys at all, got monsters that will blow little Jermaine's doors off.
But now Jermaine Dupri says that you might be a little confused as to who he is. He says that he has 20. He says that he wants you to know, and I retweeted it just in case you missed it, is he has 20 number ones. So watch your fucking mouth when you speak his name.
You know, listen, by the way, as Jonte said, or somebody said, Dream. That's right, Dream said it. We talking about number one records. I can name a bunch of number one records. Jermaine got a bunch of number one R&B records, some pop number one. Everybody got that. Ain't nobody on this thing that never had that. He's talking as if those are rare things. They may be rare things to the group of people he hangs out with. Those aren't rare things in the world of successful people.
Yo, can I just tell you that I salute all of y'all, because y'all have regular niggas like me and fans just loosely throwing around 20 hits and number one records. Like, that's very rarefied air.
That's what we're talking about, man. Yo, how about this? I knew Jonte when Jonte was a recording artist at RCA. I was there in 1993. That's when Jonte was a recording artist. It didn't work out for him as an artist, but he wrote a label mate of his was Tyrese at the time, and he wrote that joint, Sweet Lady. Boom. This man has been in the game for years. The fact that people don't know him is because he's a private man. He's a writer. He plays his part. Trackmasters has been producing since Coogee Rap. They produce Coogee Rap records, okay? So just so that we understand what that means is, from back then, early 90s, they've been making hits. They're not out there. They're not famous like that. But Jermaine knows for a fact they got 20 smashes, 45 monsters. He knows that.
All right, I got two track masters questions for you. I challenge you here. Damn it, I forgot what I was about to say. Okay, what do you say?
That's that espresso fucking with you.
What do you say to the people? Well, number one, are you biased toward the Trackmasters?
No.
Yes, you are, Steve.
Hold on, let me finish. I managed them for many, many years, but I call a spade a spade. It's not like they can compete with Pharrell on records. They can't do that. Pharrell, his thing run too long. He got too many big joints, and his array of joints, his bandwidth is just crazy. I understand that. So I'm not even saying that. But Jermaine and Trackmasters are right there. Right? It's a fair fight. Jermaine don't want a fair fight. Jermaine wants to lose to Puffy so it can help him look more famous. Get in the ring with guys that are your height and weight and let them give you that fame.
Now listen to this. Listen to this, Steve. I was on JD's live the other day. He was talking to Jonte Austin. And Jonte stayed quiet during this little bit. But Jermaine Dupri said, is he supposed to battle Trackmasters? Or something to the effect of, is he supposed to battle Trackmasters when they basically can't really play any R. Kelly records in this moment in time? Does that still make it? Now, hold up. Let me talk.
Sorry.
Now, does that make that an unfair fight in favor of Jermaine if they can't play R. Kelly records?
Yo, that's what Jermaine wishes. Here goes the problem. If they could play R. Kelly records, Jermaine would be a waste of time in this conversation. The fact of the matter is they don't have to play R. Kelly records. They got smashes. They don't have to play R. Kelly records. I don't even know what he's talking about. If R. Kelly was in this, R. Kelly and Teddy Riley would be the battle or stuff like that. But R. Kelly's out of it. Great, no problem. Jermaine, I hope that he's not going to try to play all those Escape records that don't age well.
Don't do that, Steve.
Okay, I just did it.
Don't do that. I like those Escape records.
Well, then you should play him in the background right now on some R&B shit.
Well, I'm going to play some R&B at some point. Let me tell you what I'm secretly working on. I'm going to call later and see if I could put the battery in his back. But I'm secretly working on B. Cox versus Rodney Jerkins.
By the way, Brian Michael Cox, incredible writer. Rodney Jerkins got a lot of hits. He's been at it for a long time. That's a good one. There's a lot of good ones. Look, I don't want it to get this confused, Joe. We are talking about icons. We're talking about guys who've contributed so much to our lives. And the difference between, there is no winners and losers. What you're really doing is, and I think what Timbaland and Swiss intended for this to be, was a way to appreciate the contribution that some people made to the culture that never was noticed before.
Yes.
And you didn't even realize that Scott Storch did those records, or Jonte did those records, or you don't realize it, or even Sean Garrett. You don't realize it, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, these people have contributed to my entire life through their songwriting and talent. And to be able to watch them talk that shit to somebody else who also did that, it's a beautiful thing to watch. So there's no real winners and losers here. The only thing about it that I don't like, specifically with this, is that why doesn't Jermaine give the Trackmasters the same opportunity that Jonte got, the same opportunity that Sean Garrett got?
Yo, you and JD got a bad business deal in y'all past or something.
No, we don't.
You on his head.
No. First of all, Jermaine and I did something last year. I did something for AT&T in Atlanta for 404 Day. You know, on April 4th, we celebrate the 404. I was in Atlanta. Jermaine hosted it. Jermaine's incredible. Super talented. I have no issue with Jermaine. I swear. We played Madden our whole careers. I used to play him in Madden. We go back and forth. We've always been competitive, but Jermaine's been competitive with everybody. Jermaine's a very competitive guy, which is odd to me why he don't want to just step in the ring and take the smoke.
Do you think we will eventually get that battle, JD and Trackmasters?
I think if everybody who's on this live right now DMs JD and tell him to stop running and get in the ring with his formidable competitor, that they should do that. And I think if enough people tell him it ain't about you battling Puff, man. Let Puff and Dre or that type of thing happen. This is the thing you should do. I think he'll do it. If not, it's going to keep haunting him because I'm not going to stop talking about it until he does it.
Now you just said the two names that I was getting ready to ask you about.
Oh, okay.
We keep talking about, or we keep hearing about Puff versus Jermaine Dupri. I think the real matchup that no one is saying a word about is Puff versus Dre. Why is no one really adding steam to that? Like, I think people got Puff fucked up, but I can't say that because I work with him.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of things here. Dre comes out the crib and makes his presence known far and few in between. So I don't think people believe that Dre would do it. The four names, let's say current. I think Pharrell, Ye, Puff, and Dre is a problem. No matter how you mix those four names, those guys going at it will be some of the most amazing music that changed the world. That changed our lives, changed the entire world. And Puff is on that list. If Dre comes out the crib and decides he wants to go all the way back to Oaktown 357, you know, and do that, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem for anybody.
But luckily for everybody, I think those four people are too rich and too wealthy to fuck with this shit.
No, this has nothing to do with what. By the way, I ain't going to lie to you. No disrespect, I'm wealthy. I want to see all of it. I think a lot of people involved on this are super wealthy. This has nothing to do with money. This has everything to do with the culture and contributing. You got to entertain people during these times. I think Swiss and Timbaland built a great platform.
You've been wealthy for a long time, too.
Facts. And Swiss and Timbaland built this platform for people to showcase their talent. And this has nothing to do with money, man. By the way, you're doing this right now because you want to see it. This is not sitting on your live.
Steve, be very clear, Steve. This shit that's happening right this second is shit that has been on my hip-hop bucket list for my entire life. This is like some real music lover nerd shit for me. I always, you know how many people I've asked about Sean Garrett versus Dream versus me.
You always focused up on the writers like that?
Yeah. Well, listen to the people you name it. You got to remember, Steve, I was in the Def Jam building. So I was there when Umbrella was being floated around.
It was all writers. I was around L.A. Reid. L.A. Reid
that's what I'm saying. So I kind of knew who was doing what. And Sean Garrett, The Dream, and Neo, them three names, when I was there, was like, I know the runs they went on. I know everybody that ran to them. Scott Storch. I was in that building. I was there when every label sent every act to Miami to try to get one with Scott Storch. So these names, I'm real familiar with what they're doing. Jonte Austin. I was a fan of him when he was singing.
yeah, he's incredible. I'm so happy for him, man. He's a great man too. He's a great person, and the fact that he got his roses and got recognized for being great in front of all these people in the industry and outside the industry, he just discovered them. I think that's special. While we're on this, another guy who got to get the credit, and I want to see him in this, is Rico Wade and that Dungeon family.
Okay. I thought you were
Rico Wade. Rico Wade, the Dungeon family, all those early Outkast records.
Oh, great. Dungeon family versus Organized Noise.
Organized Noise, is Rico Wade. Organized Noise is Rico Wade. You would want to do something like Rico Wade and Organized Noise versus the RZA, or like something like that. You want to go that far because those guys got a lot of records, man. They go from TLC Waterfalls to, every Outkast record that you could imagine.
Yeah, I was going to ask you who you thought would be a good matchup for Risen.
Those guys. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Man, they got too many. They got a catalog of monsters. I think that would be a good one. But I think Rico Wade's name needs to be in this more. And the truth of the matter is, L.A. Reid, as a producer, is crazy good. Like, L.A. Reid, like, don't let the smooth taste fool you. Don't let the Altoids and him, you know, that thing fool you. This guy is a monster producer, always made records, and always loved quality music.
But that's what, see, but I got to cut you off, because that's what I see happening that I don't really like. The Atlanta niggas are clicking up with all of their monsters.
Yeah, well, they work well together.
I know. Yeah, and they were dominant for a long time. I don't know if that's fair for L.A. Reid and these niggas to come popping out.
Yeah, but I think that it don't matter. The New York dudes also ran in packs. It's not like Trackmasters didn't work with the Hitmen and the Hitmen. I mean, Tone and Polk produced How to Rob. That's D-Dot on How to Rob. I forgot. How about when they play How to Rob? I mean, they may not even play that.
How about when they play Allure?
No, they may not play that.
No. You have to play Allure. You have to play Allure.
No.
Honestly, for the culture, you have to play Allure.
I don't know what they need to be playing and what they not to be playing, but I will tell you this much: they're gonna blow that little man's doors off. And all those guys in Atlanta should be clicked up right now, putting battery in his back so we can find out, because they can play all those Mariah Carey. It's not like Tony Polk don't got Mariah Carey records too. Jermaine knows that. I was at Sony. I was running all black music at Sony. He knows that. After his dad left, I was in there, moving the building around. He knows all of that. We had Corey Rooney. Come on, he knows all of this. Everybody knows this.
I'm shutting up. I can't. There's nothing I can say there.
So,
go ahead.
No,
I was about to ask about some other people. Go ahead.
All I want to do is, it's entertaining. It's moving the culture forward. We need that during these times, and the most part and the best part of it all is really talented people doing it. It ain't fake talented people. Mm-hmm. It's not lighting guys, and you know, it's really talented people coming to the table saying, let's put our talents together and entertain folks, as well as give each other a sparring session. Mm-hmm. It ain't gonna change nobody's career. Jermaine Dupri is Jermaine Dupri for the rest of his life. He'll go down in history as Jermaine Dupri. He's good. Nobody loses, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. I agree.
So, Joe, that's good. You see, we spoke about this a while ago, not to like, you know, change the subject, but as an entrepreneur, you watch me do this from day one. I've been speaking to you for two and a half years. This United Masters, it's gone. Like, it's just going. And artists want to be independent. They're not signing the record companies. We built the record company in your pocket. You're seeing a lot of people trying to copy us, talking like they're going to bite our shit. They're not close. They're not copying us. We got the shit on Smash. We are the launching pad for many, many artists. And I'm happy about that. I'm proud of that. Yeah, so I just want you to know, like, because you watched me talk about it, and in the beginning, people was like, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? What is this? He's going back in the music business to do what?
I don't think those questions existed after we saw that funding check that you got. I think we understood.
No, the funding check didn't. The funding check, that was good and it was loud, but the truth of the matter is it wasn't about the funding check. It was really about, you can get all the money in the world, but what are you going to do that's going to help change the business? And I just want to accelerate that artists should own their rights. And you see right now, if you're a record company, if you're an artist signed to a record company, how are you getting your music out? If you're a talented guy right now making music, how do you even get a deal?
Steve, there's no greater example as to why artists need to own the rights to their shit than this pandemic that we're in right now. Like, nah, you niggas can't get up and just go tour right now. No, you niggas can't just go get a quick feature bag. You are sitting home and your music and your art should be able to generate some income for you. And unfortunately for a lot of acts right now, that's not the case.
Yeah, it's you want passive, you want your royalties coming in. If you own your shit, you could license it, you could do all that stuff. And I just look, well, this is not about me. I actually wanted to be more a guy in the background on this. I want to get it started and I want to fade in the background. But I really want every artist to know this is the time for creativity. Some of the greatest songs were written in times of despair. This is where creativity shines, and everybody wants to see the most creative work come to life. Come to United Masters. If you're an artist, you can get your music distributed, you own your shit, and we'll just distribute it for you. That's all it is, man. And I think that it's a service that the world needs, and we're gonna see within the next 5 years, record companies not exist the way they currently exist today. They will not be owning artist rights any longer. They'll own all the shit that they own already, they'll own. But all the new shit, these artists are gonna own it. Maybe they'll license it. There'll be something like that. And all I wanna do is be a part of it, man. Play my small role in it.
I'm glad you said that. Let me ask you a question because I'm ignorant to this. If today, every artist adopted your train of thought and we didn't sign to the majors, how long could the majors function off of solely artists' back catalog that they already have?
This is a good question. This is a crazy number. If you look at Spotify and Apple, and you take anything older than 3 years, let's just say anything beyond 3 years, 75% of the music streamed today is music that's been released in the last 3 years.
75%.
75%. People ain't streaming Purple Rain. People ain't streaming old songs the way, like, we may listen to those older songs 3 times a year, but the new songs are burning like this, nonstop. So the newer music is the one that's streaming the most. So if the newer artists own their rights and the record companies couldn't look at it as catalog that they could monetize, there'd be a big problem because they wouldn't own the music. So I don't know how long they could last just off a back catalog. They've been sitting on it for so long. They've had the rights.
Yeah.
Decades.
Yeah.
But you will see a very fast decline in the value of record companies if they did not own the master recordings. They will quickly decline in value, and the value will be repurposed to the artists.
Well, that's all I'm thinking about, Steve, when I'm looking at these beat battles, because I'm like, okay, the labels are not jumping in and putting a stop to this with their copyright claims. But if they were open, I assume that they would be, number one. And number two, I'm looking at what we can do as a culture with our own shit if we owned it. Like to have 150,000 people on a Sunday night watching glued to the phone over something that was promoted maybe 2 hours before is insane.
Yeah, but you know what? The truth of the matter is Jay's been saying this for years.
I know.
We should own our, he's been talking about this for years.
I know.
And we should own our rights. Master P said it, Jay said it, Puff screams it. We should own our rights. If we only took a shot on betting on ourselves, we'll realize how powerful we are. And it's, by the way, it's an advance. And I got to figure out, and I will figure out, how to give artists advances, even if it's micro loans, so that they could actually get their first touring van so they could start touring, or move out their mama house, or build a studio just so they could get started. But once the artist doesn't need the advance, record companies' ownership of masters will decline immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yep. And that's what United Masters is about. That's what I stand for. But more importantly, I stand for backing creative people. I would not have been as successful as I am if it wasn't for people like the Trackmasters, people like Dr. Dre, people like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye West, artists that I've worked with my entire career, Lady Gaga, artists that I've worked with throughout my career who've entrusted me, athletes, LeBron James, talented people who've trusted me to work with them in a business capacity has helped me become successful. So I've always appreciated talent, and I think that this is the time for talent to shine. What Swiss and Timbaland are doing is giving talent that platform. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do with United Masters.
All right, slow down, slow down. You're talking too much fly shit. So now I have to respond. Okay. Now I have to respond with a challenging question.
Okay.
What would you say to the people that say that you have not always been on this side of the fight?
Thank you. You know, I came up in the record business when we were making a lot of money selling CDs, a lot of fucking money. And as a result of that, I was 25. I got in when I was 22 years old. I was blinded, you know, doing Martin Lawrence's theme song for the Martin Show and, you know, working with Nas early and Trackmasters early. I didn't know. I did not know. And I'm looking back saying, if I only knew now what I knew then, what all the things that I would have done differently. And I'm trying to take my wisdom and give it to people so that they could benefit from it greatly. I'm going to win. I will win, but I'm not going to win the lion's share. The artist should win the lion's share. In a world of technology, the value chain needs to be moved around to the people who contribute the most. Clearly, the artists contribute the most. They should get the most money. Artists, social media is the new MTV. Apple and Spotify are the new record store. I'm just the intermediary between that. If an artist ain't got their socials popping, that's how the songs are working. It ain't the record company. It's the artists using their socials to put the songs out, to get their fans behind it, to get engagement. Therefore, the artist deserves a lion's share of money. Back in the days when record companies had to print the vinyl and print the CD and ship it out and get it distributed, they've earned, because of the work and the risk that they've taken, they earned a different share. I don't think they should have owned it, but they certainly owned a different share. Today, it's clearly the dominant reason why a record is successful is because of the artists themselves. And that's why they should get a lion's share of the revenue. I didn't know that then. I know that now.
That was a good answer to a good question. I have another question for you.
Shit.
You're the only person that I'll ask this question to, because I think I'll get honesty from you. Do you know, are you aware that some of the music labels, and they shall remain anonymous, are now trying to bully some of the streaming services to be included in their podcasting revenue?
No, I can tell you, no, but if you want to find some, you would know that better than I, because you're really in the podcast game. I'm not. I want to, but I'm not there yet. I haven't focused on that. But I will tell you a bunch of things that are just concerning. We still never really got to the bottom of the record companies owning piece of Spotify and it going public and where all that money went based off of their ownership of Spotify. They said they were going to distribute the money to the artists. Not one person I've heard say, as a result of the record company owning Spotify, I got a check for a couple $1 million. I've never.
Steve, you're going to get me in trouble, man. Yo, you talking too much real shit, man. You about to get me in trouble. But
I never heard that one time.
No, you're right.
I've never heard one person say, so the record companies owned a piece of Spotify. The artists were the investment. The artist catalog was the investment. They took equity in Spotify. They get a lion's share of each stream, and they got equity in the company on the artist's back. That is unbelievable. That's robbery with no mask on in broad daylight. And not one artist I've heard say, oh, because of the sale of that Spotify stock, I just bought a new condo. I bought a new house.
Well,
No,
I'm
you know
not
what they said? Oh, because they said, oh, we used the money to get your balance down that you owe us. Oh, get the fuck out of here. You're not recouped. Thank you. You know what, man? That's bullshit. The record company, the record business is a business that needs to change and change quickly. There are great people in the record business. Craig Kalman is great. Julie Greenwald is great. Great. These are great people. There's great people at different labels. I think they're amazing people. I don't want to. There's so many, just obviously amazing A&R guys. Dallas is fantastic. Like I'm watching all the A&R guys, and then I see, but the business model, which these people do not control. They got a job inside of a company that already has an existing model, so it's not their fault.
Lupe. Craig is great to everybody but you.
To me, but me?
No, Lupe is in the comments. Lupe is not going to think Atlantic is so great.
I'm not.
Relax, Lupe.
I'm so into this conversation. No,
you're talking some real shit, Steve.
But there's something else I was going to say to you. So the record companies have really great people in it, and their jobs are to work at a record company. The last thing I'm going to say before we shut this down is that the production companies are also need to be in line with the artists. I want the production companies, don't take from the artists. Go rob the record companies. Go tell the record companies, because production companies can be very valuable to helping developing acts.
Yes.
But if the production company is taking that same mentality that a record company has and signing artists to bad deals because they're furnishing them to a record company, that's fucked up. That's like selling drugs in your neighborhood. Don't do that. Go get the money from the record companies. Go to a record company. They don't know shit. Every production company out there, you got fly-ass talent. You go into the record companies and tell them you want to own all the masters, you want to get X amount of dollars, and then you're going to bust it down with your family. Don't go take advantage of an artist and then go to the record company saying, look, I got these guys for you. Don't do that. Do not be a part of what they need to get done. Go in there with the artist and take the money from them. They got all the fucking money. Don't take it from the artist. Take it from the record company. I want production companies to treat the artists like partners, and y'all go in there together and take the fucking money from the record companies.
You're right. You are correct. Listen, I got 3 names I want to ask you about back to this producer beat writer battle thing. I'm looking to hear from Rico Love, Ryan Leslie, and Missy Misdemeanor Elliott.
Woo! Millie, she might as well. She wrote 1 million smashes. Missy is way out there. Like, I think she's in a class of her own as a writer. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I can't find a proper matchup for Missy. I can't think of one.
You know what? There's a girl by the name of Terry Robinson. That's maybe a little before your time.
I'm familiar with Terry Robinson.
Terry wrote a lot of Mary joints. Terry wrote a lot of Total joints.
I know Terry Robinson, actually.
She's from Jersey.
She's from my hood.
Yeah, she used to be with Terry Robinson. Do your work on
No, you showing your age. No, I know Terry Rob. I'm going to go look up what you did.
Monsters.
Yeah, Terry Rob, she was that nigga when I was coming up.
Terry Robinson is like the Jonte of a specific category of hot hip-hop joints she was writing melody to. She would be good. A good place to start, but it'd be very hard. Rico Wade. No, you talk not Rico.
Rico Love.
Rico Love. And who's the other person you said?
Ryan Leslie.
Whew. Ryan Leslie's super talented dude too, man.
Because what I think Swiss and Timberland could do, because again, we talking about legends and icons when we start talking about 20 hits, but they could have different weight classes where they just go to 10 with some niggas. Everybody can't
But I ain't
get
gonna lie to
20.
you. I think you love this more than me. You do.
Steve, I will die for this shit. I live for this. This is all. I would do this for free.
Well, we are.
Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, I love the fam.
So are they.
This is the moment I've been waiting for my entire music life, Steve, where the casual fans have to shut the fuck up.
So hold on. Let me ask you a question. If you don't mind me conducting an interview.
Your sound is messing up now, but I'm listening.
Why is DJ Clue running from Funk Master Flex?
Don't do that.
I'm asking you a question.
Don't. All right. Well, Clue happened to be in JD's live, so I saw what he said, and what he said was, "Flex don't produce."
What the fuck is it?
That means that Clue is a producer.
Few records. Let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. I'm talking about DJs. I'm talking about mixtapes. I'm talking about freestyles. I'm talking about DJ Clue and Funk Master Flex playing records that they were involved in. Funk Master Flex put out compilation albums. He put out mixtapes. What is Clue talking about?
I'm telling you what Clue said.
What producer does Clue want to go against? Nobody looks at Clue as a producer. What's he talking about?
But Clue is a producer, and he has placements. Don't do that.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm not saying, but it's not enough for him to go against a producer. Not 20 records.
So what are him and Flex gonna do?
Man, they got freestyles. They got freestyles. They got.
Fam, Steve, I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm not gonna let you do that. Funk Master Flex should not be in any conversation with DJ Clue on freestyles. Stop it.
By the way, that's what everybody wants to see. I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying. So who you want to see? DJ Clue go against what's his name? Gangsta Grills on mixtapes?
I don't want to see Clue versus nobody. But I'm not gonna let a nigga say,
Rico Love.
hey, if we talking about freestyles, Clue is leave him alone. And that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
And Steve, let me point out that you're trying to pit niggas against each other that really have a genuine disdain for one another.
Well, you know, Sean Garrett and the Dream didn't get along too well overall.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I know.
Still turned out to be a good battle and a lot of mutual respect.
Who'd you have winning that battle?
Oh God. I think Dream.
Okay.
When Dream started playing golf, I couldn't believe it. I thought that was great. I thought Sean Garrett was too hype. I asked Swiss that they do a drug test before the battle.
Sean was hype, but I'm not mad at him.
He was a little too
I don't
hype.
blame him. I don't blame him for being hyped, though.
No, he was a little too hype, and he shouldn't have played those new records, but he's so fucking talented. He's so talented. What did you think about Manny playing those little, the Siri and a lot of those interludes he played last night? You think that buried him?
It didn't help. It didn't help things.
When he started playing the go-go at the end, that's when you, I can imagine what your face was doing.
Because
when he started playing the mashups?
Yeah, because you know why? Like, that's going to hit me differently because I'm real empathetic to Scott's story. Like, I'm empathetic to anybody who overcame a real serious addiction. And
he was making fun of it.
And that didn't sit right with me. So it made it easier to stomach Scott beating the brakes off of him. But my question was, if Manny Fresh was going to put all of that energy, and I love Manny Fresh, if he was going to put all that energy into the skits, I figured he would have done a little more with his placement. Like he said, he didn't have a playlist, and as soon as he said that, I was like, "Fam, you going against Scott Storch, and you don't have a playlist?" But you got skits.
I think. Look, you know, you remember Scott Storch was going to go against, I think, T-Pain.
But that was wrong.
Okay, but they fixed it. They fixed it, and Manny Fresh got the call late, but I don't know how he got the call so late that he was able to put all those skits together that fast. He got.
And listen.
By the way, his lighting wasn't right. It was a lot of things not right. And Scott Storch just got so hot and went down. He just picked up speed on him and didn't slow down. The records just kept getting better.
I want to point out, I had Manny Fresh up 4-1 in the start. I had him up.
Wobble it.
You saying that? That's New York bias, man.
No, I'm not. What are you talking about? I love Manny Fresh. No. I'm saying that he played that early on. If you remember, that was in the first 4 records. He played that shit.
Yeah.
That shit went off. That's the reason why I said it. I wasn't making fun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, he went crazy in the first 4. He did. But listen, I thought Scott Storch was a bad matchup for T-Pain, so now I'm going to ask you about the next matchup that they have for T-Pain, which is Lil Jon Saturday night, Lil Jon versus T-Pain. Now, I have been unfortunate enough to go on tour with Lil Jon.
Word?
Fam. They put me on. Oh my God. Def Jam kicked my ass. They, as a new artist, with only 1 record, Pump It Up, they sent me on a national tour with Chingy, who had Chingy had One Call Away. Chingy had
Chingy had hits. Chingy had 3 hits.
Yeah. They sent me out with David Banner, and Lil Jon was the headliner. And as a young New York nigga, I wasn't putting enough respect on Lil Jon's name as a headliner, and he went out there and cracked our asses for 90 minutes damn near of joints. And for me, as somebody who was like such a wordsmith lyricist, it was amazing to see a nigga who wasn't rapping at all bust you upside the head with records.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That idea, Joe, is always one of those things that it's, as a new artist, when the first time you go out on the road and you start mixing with others, I used to see that shit happen. It's part of the journey. It's actually part of the journey because you realize the bubble as a New York rapper that you're in.
Yeah.
When you go to different places, you're like, word, they love that?
Fam, I had never been to, we shot the Pump It Up video in Miami. I had never been to Miami, Florida before the age of 22, 23. When you are listening to Lil Jon in Florida in 2002, 2003, it changes your life. It changes your whole life. It made the entire way I looked at the creation of records different.
Well, I mean, I got a chance to go on the road early with Kid and Play. And how about this? I went on the road early with Kid and Play and Will Smith. It was a lineup of Public Enemy, the Ghetto Boys, Naughty by Nature, Latifah. I think Latifah brought Naughty by Nature, Kid and Play, whatever, and like Young MC or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on this tour, and I remembered, like, the Kid and Play shit was working everywhere around the country. But when it started coming back up the East Coast, and rap changed, and they was doing all that ain't gonna hurt nobody shit.
That was my shit.
Yeah, but niggas started booing them. They started booing Will Smith. They started missing dates. I was like, oh, shit. You don't even realize that when you in New York and you making records that feel a little light, it plays everywhere around the country on radio. But when you have to do a tour back in your own hometown, people are like, yo, get off the floor, stop humping the air. We don't want to hear that shit. And spit the fucking verse.
Yeah, I think that's crazy that you would.
I learned so much back then because it's literally, as an artist, this is a deep conversation, but when you're an artist and you start falling off, you don't realize it because people still ask you for your autograph. So you think that you still got fans going and realize people will take a picture with you and ask for an autograph, even if they don't really like your music. They don't give, you're famous. Even if you're not current or relevant as an artist, you're still walking around famous.
Your audio, Steve. They're talking about your audio. Something happened with the sound again.
Shit.
There you go.
I don't know what's up. I'm getting.
Every time you put it down, it's going to sound funny.
I can't even repeat. I can't even repeat where I was going.
But no, we heard you. Just keep going. We heard you. But
anyhow,
it sounds funny.
And you know.